Same with Jane, Season 2 Local Legends, the show that helps you to thrive, not just survive. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Tune in each week as Jane connects with local legends of Dorset, bringing you the most up-to-date health and wellness guidance, therapies, courses, retreats and stories happening locally. Each session includes a guided meditation hosted by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlan. Hello and welcome to episode 11, season 2 of Stay Sane with Jane. Today's title is all about Everybody is Psychic. Uncover your potential with Sally Hart. So let me introduce you to Sally. She often saw angels as a child and could occasionally see and feel people who passed over. This ability lay dormant as she grew up and went into a career and raised her family. But a few years ago, she was on a train which was broken down and she got an overwhelming impulse to chat to the lady next to her. And little did she know what was going to kind of come out and open up from that conversation. So here you are, Sally Hart.
Hello. Hi.
Such a pleasure to have you on Stay Sane with Jane.
It's so lovely to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
A pleasure. So let's get to know who Sally is as a person before we dive deep into the psychic abilities and your journey into business.
Well, I live in Dorset. I'm really connected to nature. I love meditating, cold water swimming. I've got 3 rescue dogs. They're mental, but I love them.
What breeds have you got?
I've got 2 Chihuahuas, and they really live up to their name. And then I've got a big one who's like an Alsatian crossed with a Harrier. We rescued him from Cyprus, and he's a hunting dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a mix.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen to go for Chihuahuas and this massive dog, but he needed rescuing, and I couldn't say no. So now I'm trying so hard not to rescue anymore. I used to rescue people and now I rescue dogs.
Amazing. So tell me, Sally, how did you get started in your field? We've heard a little bit that everything was dormant, and then I definitely want to hear about more of this kind of a hard breakthrough conversation.
Yeah, so well, I could, like the bio said, I could see angels and I could connect with those that had passed over and things. And I had odd glimmers when I was at university. Like one time I was in my lodgings, and like carpets when they're really high up, and when the door opens it brushes, you can hear them brushing against the carpet. So I heard the door open in the middle of the night, and this old lady with like a shawl around her face came up and pushed the duvet around my head. I was so petrified, I just kept my eyes shut, hoping to go away. Then I heard footsteps go along the carpet and out of the door. And it turned out that the landlady, because I thought this woman was from Victorian times or something, turned out the landlady was Romanian, and it was her mother who'd come through because she knew I wasn't feeling very well and had come through just to help me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And now looking back on it, but at the time, as that was my first,
pretty scary.
Yeah, proper where I could feel them touch me. That was, pretty scary. But it's weird that there were these little glimmers like that, and then until the train episode, and that's when it really started. And this train had broken down at Putney Bridge Station, and this lady was next to me, and I just had this overwhelming urge that I had to talk to her, and I didn't know what I was going to even say. And then I thought, how on earth do I say hello to somebody on a tube in London? And luckily she sneezed so that I could say bless you, and that a conversation ensued, and it was one of my first, what I now know was one of my first messages that I was giving. And And this happened on and off at various places. I'd be in the theatre and I'd have to give a message, or one time I was in church. And I just went with it, not knowing what I was doing. And then I was in Costa one time, and this guy came up to me and he just said, "You've got a gift, you're going to be using it." And my friend and I were having coffee, just said, "Oh, thank you very much," and just thought, he's a bit strange. And then it started happening more and more. And then a friend said, "You need to go to Shirley Batty. She's someone you need on here. She's an absolute local legend."
Okay.
So she does a spiritual development group. So I went for a few, maybe about 6 weeks, 12 weeks or something with her, and helped me to develop giving messages and trained me. And then off I went. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
That's really amazing. So in the training, did they go through the different kind of psychic abilities, or did they focus on, okay, this is what you are, or this is what's coming through for you, let's focus on this?
Right, so it was a group. So she did different skills. It was mainly giving messages, but she also did, or still does, I think, psychometry, where you pick up an object and you have to feel into the energy and find out where it came from, and which I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
She gave me there was a stone, and I picked it up and I knew it was to do with Native Americans. It'd been found by a river and it was really sacred. And it turned out that she'd been given it by a Native American elder, and the place was near a river.
Yeah.
And I was correct. So
Wow.
she did stuff with color as well, connecting with star family, I think we've done sometimes, and light language.
Yes.
So yeah, she was pretty good at doing the whole gamut, really.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
So when was that? When did you kind of train to home in these abilities?
I've got to think it was in lockdown, so we may
Yeah.
or may not have met in a group in lockdown.
Yeah.
So about that sort of time. I think we started
Yes.
before lockdown, and we may or may not have continued.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
So what tell us a little more about your business.
Right. So things are developed from but from giving messages. So now I do give psychic readings. So I'll tell you about that first, and I'll tell you about the different
Yes.
things we do. So on the day of a psychic reading, do you know what? Sometimes it's as soon as the person's paid and it's in the diary, their guides will often start gathering. So some mornings I'll wake up on a reading to find like either people who've passed over or guides, or so by the time I come in, this meeting's taking place in my cabin, but this is where I do my readings. By the time I come in here to tune in, I've already written down about a side of A4 paper to just start off. So I start with customers with I tell them, and then each point I make, we then explore. And then
Yes.
obviously then they can ask questions and explain why they're here. But oftentimes I've covered it in what I've got through beforehand.
Wow.
So that's how that works. I started channeling Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
She came through. My first workshop ever with Shirley was a channeling workshop, and I went in and she said, "No, of course you can all meditate." And I was like, "Yeah," which I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I'd literally done nothing. And luckily I could channel. So, and she was saying about the way of the rose. And
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was or anything. And to be honest, I just wrote it in my journal and ignored it for a few years. And then Mary Magdalene got, more and more pushy at wanting me to work with her.
Yeah.
For a guide, a reading with somebody called Corinne Seister, who you also need to interview, who's an amazing local legend. She
Yes.
did that side, a picture of Mary Magdalene, because that's who came through as my guide at that time. So her and I started to work with Mary Magdalene. We developed a womb healing course, and it's all done psychically. There's no hands-on. And women, if anyone's had a cesarean or something, and it kind of feels like that. So psychically, it's like they're weeding in your stomach or your womb area, and then pulling out all the trauma that needs
Yes.
to come out, because the idea is that trauma is stored in the womb,
Yeah.
and it's a different way of accessing that trauma and beginning to pull it out.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people talk about psychic surgery, and I think you've explained it really well.
Oh,
Yeah, that you are kind of going in there and taking away the block negative energy vibrations or those trauma wounds.
that's right. Yeah, it's
Mm.
like the energetic imprint that's left from those has got to be removed.
Yeah.
So we've got a course that we've written, and it's called "Be the Queen of Your Universe."
That's good. Yeah.
And she's done it. Kareen's done the artwork, and we've done meditations with it. So that's one of the things I do. I also run women's groups.
Let's dive a little bit deeper
Okay,
into each, because we've got lots of time to
okay,
discuss these. We've got lots of time.
okay. I've
So
got lots to go about.
do you still do readings, psychic
Yes,
readings?
yes,
Yes.
I do. So they are. I would say the majority of my work now is groups.
Yeah.
But yes, I still do 3 or 4 readings a week.
Yeah. And do
Um,
they take up a lot of your time? Because obviously, like you said, when people have paid, their guides start showing up. So how do you kind of make sure that doesn't bleed into days and days of work?
so what I try and limit it to with them is that um, they come through on the morning strongly, and the rest of when they're beginning to come through, it's quite faint, like in the run up. So I
Yeah,
try just to block it out, because also I'm doing readings for other people as well. And
yeah.
then when the time's right, when I come into this cabin and I'm for that person, that's when I get
You kind of
get it
switch
full on.
the
Yeah, it is like a
like
light
the
switch.
microphone or whatever on for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. It's like I've done the switch, yeah, they know, and they're ready. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
And um that kind of communication with the people that have passed, does it go do you ever get people, ancestors from long, 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 long,
Yeah,
long
yeah,
time
yeah.
ago?
Yeah, so the other day yesterday in fact, we were doing a group, and this lady's aunt, she one of her past lives came through when she was in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I get that a lot, and I get a lot of women who were named witches who were just women, and a lot of
Yes.
that comes through. We get a lot of past life stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, and like some of my American customers, one of them, it was one of her ancestors was a lady from Ireland who'd just up sticks with her husband and gone to settle in the US.
Yeah.
And this woman's now investigating that and seeing if she can find out more. So we do.
Oh, that's so amazing.
And sometimes it's people who've lived on the land. So another one of my customers in the US, we worked out that their house had been built somewhere sacred to do with the Native Americans, and it was almost like she had to make reparation with the land for what had happened to
Mm.
it. So she put, I got through that she needed to put grids in the garden, crystal grids, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, just to kind of, yeah, basically say sorry, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Heal
Yeah,
the area, the trauma.
that's right. Because trauma
Yeah.
is in the land. I don't think people fully understand that trauma is within us, but it is also within our land. And it's
Yes.
when both are cleared that we can then all ascend even higher once we're living in a pure and sacred land again. It's so
Yeah.
important.
I had a very interesting experience when I was in Ireland. This was back in, I remember it was 2010, because I went on so many of my little travels that year. Um, and it was the first time I'd taken a flower essence that helped with opening your third eye and your psychic ability.
Mhm.
I was out hiking on my own, exploring for fairies. And I went on top of this huge mound, and it was beautiful blue sky, hot. And I was just up there sunbathing, and I literally heard the earth talking, and I was like, what is going on? As I was just lying meditating, really, and I heard the messages coming through from the earth. It was magical.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, because the earth has a consciousness, every living thing has a consciousness, and we just need to connect into it. Gorgeous, isn't it?
It is
like
just so
the
beautiful.
universal consciousness.
Yeah. And if we kind of step forward again into the Sisterhood of the Rose and Mary Magdalene, and I really feel like she is coming through strong. It's getting stronger and stronger over the past, say, 4 years, and it's just getting more. She's everywhere, right?
Yes. That's when she started coming through to me. When I asked her about this, she said it's because we're coming into the age of Aquarius. The age of the Aquarius heralds the time when divine masculine and divine feminine are going to be more in balance, or that people are going to work towards that. So that is why so many people are channeling her and getting similar. And obviously when you channel, I suppose you get your own, it's a bit like ice cream, you get your own flavour, but the message is the same.
Yes.
So, and it's just wonderful, because I chat to so many women and Mary Magdalene's coming through to them, but in different ways. And it's almost like she's planting seeds in different areas of the world. We're then forming our little tribes, and then eventually the energy of the world will lift enough for then divine feminine. Well, there's a lot of work going to be involved, but with divine feminine and masculine in balance. So that's the aim with the age of Aquarius. And that was prophesied in the Gnostic Gospels. It was prophesied that was how it was going to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, the sun has finally come out in Southbourne. It's been overcast all day, so now I am.
So you're now in the shade.
I'm now in the shade, sun.
Interesting, when we talked about Mary Magdalene was when the sun came out, though.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's magical, and she used to come through. Now I'm channeling her and working with her. It doesn't happen so much, but virtually every card reading I would do, she would show up, her card would be there, and also Jesus would be there. Yeah. And it just, the messages and the energies were just so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's the archetypal divine feminine. So we've got other women. We've got Guan Yin, White Buffalo Woman, the goddesses, like Bridget, Aostra, and goddesses like that. But she is the archetypal divine feminine. And oftentimes when I run I facilitate two Mary Magdalene groups, and often we call them the ancestors. The ancestors come through, and it's women like us who many years ago, from all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all ages, and they heard the call, and they knew they needed to be a part of this, going back years. And now when women have a Mary Magdalene group, or people channel Mary Magdalene, you're not just bringing through Mary Magdalene, it's that community consciousness, that universal consciousness of the divine feminine consciousness. Basically, it is so powerful.
Yeah, I'm really pleased that it is coming forth with full abundance.
Yes.
So thank you, and keep coming, please.
Please.
And also the womb healing.
Yes.
Again, that has really grown. I've had several different experiences. The first one was back in 2010, and it was I've got to say it was quite a strange experience. It was a healing, but through my feet. And I remember the lovely lady, can't remember her name, tiny little Irish woman. And I went into her house and into her treatment room, and there was pictures of Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, all over the healing room, everywhere, and figurines and everything. I was like, okay. And at the time, I was spiritual, but I wasn't. I still had things to heal regarding the word God and Jesus, etc.
Mm.
Um, but it was. I just went into totally another world, deep, deep meditation, whatever she was doing on my feet to heal my womb. And that was like my first kind of experience. And then another experience more recently, I think it was last January, was a kind of Mary Magdalene online circle womb healing, energy healing through the mother, and again, very, very powerful. Can you tell us about your experiences and what you're doing now?
With regards to womb healing,
Yeah.
So it was Mary Magdalene who came through and said we need to start healing the womb. So Corinne and I, Julie, started creating this course, which we channeled once a week for months to get this through. And when I asked her what's the importance of the womb, she said it's a portal which births galaxies. And when I investigated into that further, like we have a third eye.
Yeah.
Well, women have a portal in their womb, and that's where we get our intuition, that's where we get our knowing, that's where we get our maternal instinct, that's where we get the ability to be able to read energies, to know and to read a room, to read how people are feeling. And once that is clear and all the stagnant energy has been removed,
Yeah.
that allows us access to that again, where we can reclaim our femininity and reclaim those characteristics that maybe have been squashed, that we've had to push down due to the patriarchal society, and it's allowing those to come to the fore again. And so we've had the most beautiful experiences in womb healings. People have helped heal their inner child, the mother wound. One of the most recent ones, we ended up going into something that looked like the Galactic Council, but it was all divine feminine women. There were 13 women. There's Guan Yin, White Buffalo Women, Mary Magdalene. And so there's a Galactic Council for the divine feminine. And that energy was absolutely intense. So the womb healings vary, but they're always really powerful and work on what the woman needs to be working on at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And are these workshops, are they in person or online?
So I do, at the moment, I'm doing one-to-one womb healings, which I tend to do in person, but they can be done online. Mm-hmm. And then when there's enough traction, then Corinne and I are going to start most likely doing an in-person 6-week or 6-session womb healing course.
Yeah.
And then eventually we will be doing it online.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But it's building up. So quite often people just think, well, I haven't had any trauma, so I don't need womb healing. It's not just trauma. It's about, if you've ever felt belittled, if you've ever felt anxious, when you have to sometimes swallow your anger because you don't want to lash out. It's all got to go somewhere. And for women, it goes in their womb. And interestingly, if it's a man who identifies as a woman, they have a hara, which is an energetic womb space, and the same actually works for them as well. Wow. Which I learned quite recently, which I think is wonderful, because it isn't actually just for women, it's for men who either identify as a women or have that strong divine feminine within them.
Yeah. And Is there a thing that's opposite for men? Like
So
I hear a lot about the womb clearing, but what about the opposite?
So that's really interesting. That's such an interesting question, because I'm getting stuff through. Eventually, I'm going to develop my own mystery school, and everything comes in a sequence of threes. And one of them was to do with balancing masculine and feminine, and it was to do with the masculine energy, I think, was going up the spine, the female was going up the front, and it's getting them to curve like that.
Like the medicine
Yeah, I know I can say
snakes.
yeah, I always do that because I can't remember how you say the word. Like, had you something?
No, I can't either.
Yeah. So, but that caduceus, I'm not even sure how you say it, but that, and basically that was the image that came through in the caduceus, or whatever it's called. People watching this are just going to be laughing, thinking, "Oh my life, she can't even say the word." But that actually started out as a divine feminine symbol, because you've got the chalice, which is the divine feminine, the stem, which is the male, the base, which is earthing and groundedness, and the snakes, the divine feminine and masculine, curling up to the top.
Beautiful.
So that's as far as I've got.
Yeah.
I think once we've got the womb healing course underway and we're really going with the divine feminine more, I think the divine masculine will start to come through.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time, but it's not quite yet. There's other things that I'm being called to do from her.
Amazing. Fabulous. Thank you. Anything else? Any other treatments, areas of your biz that you want to share and talk about?
So I facilitate an online spiritual development group. We work 6 weeks on and then a couple of weeks off to just allow the stuff to process. So far, it's just quite a new group. So far, we've learned to open our chakras to connect to spirit. Then we've connected to our higher self. We did a beautiful healing that involved our etheric body coming out of our corporal body.
Yeah.
And connecting to guides. So in our next group of 6, we're going to be connecting to star family, and later on, this is basically at the end of the 6 weeks, I ask the people what they'd like next, and they've asked for that, and connecting to unicorns. Oh, and the previous one we did dragons as well, and we actually went on a dragon flight.
Yes.
Which was amazing. Yeah, so, and it's very much client led. Whatever people want to do in it, I can do it. I can channel it.
That's really beautiful. So it's a space for people who are maybe just starting off.
Right, yeah. So who the criteria is, you need to be able to, this is my criteria.
Yeah.
If you can sit and drink a cup of coffee for 3 minutes and look out of the window and let your mind go blank, that is all you need. Once you can do that, you can meditate. That is literally all you need. You don't have to clear your mind. You don't have to, if you can do that as your first stage, that's enough to work with.
Yeah. So this would be, this is perfect for people exploring and wanting that kind of guidance.
Yeah, who just want to start out.
Yeah.
Dip the toe in the water. But then also, the people who've been there for 6 weeks can now visualize in their meditations. They've really come on a pace. And then for them, it becomes like, do you know what I'm going to say? It becomes like Harry Potter, because the world is magic. There is magic in our world, and we can access that magic through meditation.
Yeah.
So it becomes just a wonderful thing, and you don't have to pay lots of money to join an event where you all day you connect with dragons or you connect with unicorns. It's literally just an hour on a Sunday evening, 7:30, and whatever you'd like to do, I plan it for the next 6 weeks.
Fabulous. I love that. And that's a really good like monthly membership type of thing, isn't it?
If I got myself organised, it could be like a membership.
I can help you with that one, Sally.
And the other thing I want to talk about are my Lunar Rosa circles. So they're beautiful. I have this cabin, and I have space for 10 women.
Yes.
And we start every time I set it in the diary, I channel through what we need to do, what's going to come through. So we start with a cacao ceremony, and I use the Oh My Goddess cacao, which is grown by a women's collective. So everything in my business, I basically support women.
Yes.
So the lady who's redesigned my website, she lives somewhere where it's a bit of a matriarchal society, and I'm all for empowering women, because that's those are who I work with, and I think that's so important. So we start with a beautiful cacao ceremony with this, and when I'm making the cacao, there's a song called Cacacita la Medicina that I use.
I love that song. It's one of,
Yeah,
I've got two that are my favourite cacao songs, and that is one of
yeah.
them. Yes.
Yeah, so the idea of the love and the joy goes into the cacao as you make it. And I've got a special spoon I use that's got a heart cut out of it in the middle, and a special pan I use, and it's just for cacao. So there's no other energies involved.
Yes.
So we do a beautiful cacao ceremony. We do a gorgeous guided meditation that's channeled through. And then there's an activity based on the channeling, like one, I think the most recent one, we had to meditate and work out what words defined us, and who were we to everybody else, and then who were we to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's a fire ceremony, we'll burn the bits of paper, because I've got a fire pit outside.
Yeah.
And then my friend Kate, who's an amazing Reiki master, she comes in and
I met Kate.
Kate White.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. So we work together, and she starts the circle off, and we all do this hovering our hands, and yeah, and so between us, we just hold space, and it is just beautiful, and it's really inexpensive, because I don't believe in charging the earth, because I believe that spirituality should be accessible to everybody.
Yes.
Not white middle class women. It's got to be everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit of a bugbear of mine at the moment. I want us to be empowered and make money in our business, but I don't like seeing people putting these ridiculous prices and then trying to whitewash or gaslight people that think it's a ridiculous price, saying, well, you've got a scarcity mindset, or you need to work on your money mindset, kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. It doesn't, for me, that doesn't ring true. It's people being inauthentic, and I think they've lost the reason why we do this work. We do this work to serve. Yes, we need to make money. Yes, we need an income, but it's not about ripping people off.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. In fact, all of my services, I think, are, I have different streams. So it starts from very accessible kind of group work, and then there are things that are more expensive, but there's a heck of a lot of value in there. And I know if it shifted over to somebody else, they would be selling it probably 10 times the price that I am.
Yes, that is what I found. And I look at other people's offerings, and I think, oh goodness, I offer more than that for much less money. But I also think I'm just very lucky, because my husband built me this cabin. So, and I'm so blessed to have this. So I don't have to pay for like renting a space. It's in my garden. Yeah. So that, I think that enables me to keep my pricing realistic.
Yeah, I too have a little summer house in my garden where I do my work, and I love that. And I have to say, I think my clients love coming to a home experience as well, meeting my dog every time. At the moment, we've got little puppies as well, so they come and meet the puppies before coming in for a session. It's nice, but it is horses for courses, isn't it? Everybody, it's good. There's lots of different offerings out there.
Yeah, I need to speak to you about another offering I've just remembered. My friend Karina and I are starting up a spiritual development circle in Such a Beautiful Day in Westbourne. And we're going to be doing that on a Wednesday morning, if people are interested, from, I think it's 11:15 to 12:45.
Now, Such a Beautiful Day. Remind me of that shop. Is it the Crystal Shop?
Yeah, it's a crystal shop. There's one in the arcade in
Yeah.
Westbourne, and then there's one in Moordown as well. And Victoria's decorated it so beautifully with rainbow colours and beautiful, obviously beautiful crystals and just other beautiful objects. She's got a
So
real.
where's the room? Are you doing it in the
It's
shop?
downstairs. It's
Oh,
downstairs. Yeah, and she's
cool.
got a space called the Heart Space. So we're Corinne and I are doing it there. So we're going to alternate because it's a weekly slot. So we're going to do a month on, a week off. So I'll
Yeah.
do 2 of the sessions, and Corinne will do 2 of the sessions. And then
Oh,
she's a
that's
psychic
really
artist.
cool.
Hers will be arty, and mine are more sort of meditation-y with handouts and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
really good.
We're really excited.
Yes.
Mm.
So after hearing about all your gorgeous services, they are all very linked, which I love, um,
Mhm.
and which brings me on to my next question about what is the best bit of business advice?
Oh my goodness. All I can say is something like be aligned to your principles and use your integrity. Because I'm the least businessy person. I'm surprised if I ever make a profit, to be fair. But yeah, so I'd say whatever you do, make sure it's in alignment with yourself. And if you employ authenticity, then that's really important, particularly in the spiritual world, and be true to yourself. I
Yes.
think there's so many people who don't do that. And I
Mhm.
think it's quite important that to make your offering as pure and from the heart as possible.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. I think, like you say, when you're in a spiritual, holistic, creative, um, business, it is from the heart,
Yeah.
um, and it's from your passions, your loves, and it's having that alignment and yeah, authenticity. There's another word, congruency. That's it.
Yes.
And it's being congruent. And when I first started, I wasn't too congruent because I was still playing out some like old life patterns,
Yeah.
old social life patterns. But I knew, and then gradually, I just got more aligned that the my values and my belief systems across the board, it doesn't matter where you meet me, it's going to be the same, Jane, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
which I
And
think is really, really good, isn't it?
it's really important because um, some people put on like a spiritual cape, and then so on weekends they're spiritual. I noticed it at Glastonbury. They come and they're wearing all their hippie clothes, but they're obviously, or they're probably like bankers or something the rest of the time wearing a suit in London. But it's like, oh, it's the weekend. I'm going to Glastonbury. I'll put on my hippie clothes.
Yes.
And it's that's
Yeah. I've
really.
got to say, when I went to Glastonbury, I went a few times last year, and I had a mini freak out before I went. I was like, how what am I gonna wear? All I've got is like jeans and hoodies and this and that. I haven't got anything hippie in my wardrobe. Anyway, I got over myself and I was like, I had a conversation with a friend and they were like, Jane, it's Glastonbury. It doesn't matter. You go as you are,
That's
as
right.
your authentic self, whether that's jeans, trainers, and a hoodie. I'm like,
That's right.
thank you.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
did have a little mini freak out. I'm gonna have to buy a whole new wardrobe. I'm going to Glastonbury.
But that's
What?
a good thing though, right? Getting clothes shopping.
Yeah, well, that bit's good.
Yeah.
um, so if we were to work together, what would it look like? And how on earth, how can I get hold of Sally Hart? How can I find you?
So my website's heaventoheart.com, and you can find me on Facebook as Sally Hart. It's not a business profile, it's just a personal profile. Now, if we were to work together, it would depend what you were looking for. If you were
Mhm.
looking for spiritual development, I could guide you to one of my spiritual development circles, or some people prefer to work one-to-one. So every month or so they pop along, and the good thing about the one-to-one sessions is that I can come into your meditation with you. So say you're not ready to meet your guide yet, you're not visualizing everything yet, then I can come in and I can say, look to your left, there's somebody who looks like XYZ, and I can help you to connect that way, and then help you to connect with yes no questions.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
questions, and then once you're on it, after a couple of sessions, I go in and make sure you're okay, then I pull out, and then it's your private communication with your guide. It usually
Can I
takes,
ask you something
yeah,
completely random and
mhm,
absolutely for my own benefit?
yeah, sure,
So in meditation and channeling,
yeah,
I rarely get the guide's name, even if I ask. And I also have this weird block in this lifetime about us, remembering people's names. And I've worked really hard over the past probably 3 years in trying to build that name muscle
mhm.
in my brain. Um, any top tips on how to
Right.
get a guide's
So
name, or is
guides
what's
are
happening in my reality happening in my meditations or vice versa?
not really, I wouldn't say. I'd say guides, for them, the name is not a big deal.
Okay.
So they're really not bothered. So when a client is quite keen on finding out a guide's name, oftentimes the guide will say, okay, you give me a name because I know you need a name to associate with me. And the client gives the name. And then whenever they then come through, like one of them gave her guide a name of a crystal, and that was in one of our first sessions. And then yesterday, I think it was, when we were doing our session, this guy came through again wearing that crystal. So that was how I knew to identify.
Mm.
So, look, your guide X is here. And so they'll do it like that. So you don't have to have a name. It could be an object that they carry with them, or just something to identify them by. But then some of the teacher guides, like when I work with Lord Katumi, he's very keen to tell me his name. He will start with that. If I can't feel his energy already, which I've worked with him enough now, so I do. But at the beginning, he explained who he was, why he was here, why it was him that needed to come through, and he was there to teach me stuff. So,
That's really interesting.
hmm.
Yeah, because I've known who all of the, say, big people, the ascended
That's right.
masters. I don't
Exactly.
know anybody else.
Because
Yeah.
they need their name to be known because of the work that they want to do with us.
Aha.
Whereas the other guides, and I've had guides shapeshift for me, like one reading this week, I thought it was somebody from the Star family coming through, and then I heard a laugh, and that's because they were surrounded by light. But as I got like more in focus, if you like, like a binoculars, getting more in
Yeah.
focus, then I could see the outline, and it was an angel, and that kind of thing. So
Oh,
yeah, it's the guides can work however they need to work.
amazing. Oh, lovely. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
And
Um,
then, look, we just got another little insight on how you work with people. So
yes,
thank you.
yeah. And then obviously, if you're into the Divine Feminine, you could join a Mary Magdalene group. I do a Tuesday group here. And the course is all channeled. So I did it with my Monday group a year ago, and
Yeah,
now I'm using the same course with my Tuesday group.
that's
Um,
beautiful.
yeah. And then there's obviously womb healing, the Luna Rosa circles. It's basically whatever path you want to take, or you might want to dabble in a bit of everything. But
Yeah,
mainly it's all got a divine feminine flavour.
fantastic. And they find you on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is Sally Hart. And you'll recognise me. And www.heaventoheart.com. Um,
Heaven to Heart.
yeah,
Fantastic.
I've got a YouTube channel, but I'm not very good at that yet.
Yeah, and we will put all the links above and below for people
Okay,
to
well I will.
connect.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste them for you.
Yes, yep, I've got them here.
Okay, brilliant.
Um, any offer or top tip for the
Yeah,
audience?
I think the start of spiritual development is meditation. And first of all, when you get these apps and things, they go, oh, you've got to meditate for 20 minutes every day, you've got to practice, blah, blah, blah. I would say just ignore that. Because if you don't have time to meditate at that particular day, then it's not going to be beneficial. You'll just start overthinking and stressing, oh my God, and it become like a real pressure moment of your day. And meditation is supposed to be joyful. So when I first started out, I only meditated once a week at 2:30 on a Tuesday. That was because my day off was a Monday and a Tuesday. So I got all the housework done, all the cleaning done, got everything done. And then on Tuesday 2:30, I had half an hour before my son's bus came. And that was literally the only spot I had. And then my guides knew to turn up at that time. And then they'd be waiting for me. The other thing, if you're short of time for meditating, is to pick a piece of relaxing music. Now mine is 11 minutes long. And I just play that music. If I only got a short time to meditate, I would just play that. And then I know when the music's finished, 11 minutes has passed and it's time to pull out, rather than lose myself for hours in meditation. And then the final tip I would say, it is the cup of coffee tip. If you just practice stilling your mind by drinking a cup of coffee and looking out of your window, or watching a candle, like a tea light, till the top of the tea light liquefies, that's enough time just to do that, and that is a good start. Don't press yourself with these apps and things, because you'll end up overthinking, and it will become not a nice moment in your day, and it's supposed to be something beautiful.
I downloaded the apps years ago, and I swiftly deleted them because I just didn't like the voice for a start.
No.
You've got to have, if you're having a guided meditation, you've got to have the right voice that you're listening to.
Yeah. I have actually got a healing meditation on my YouTube channel. I've only managed to do it once because I'm still trying to learn iMovie, but it is on there if you're interested. If people are interested, it's a beautiful, relaxing, healing meditation, and it's free. It's about 24 minutes long, and it's free.
Fantastic. Right. Well, we shall share that as well. Thank you so much for talking to us and sharing your gorgeous story. We're going to say goodbye to you, Sally Hart, from Haven to Heart.
Heaven to Heart.
Heaven, sorry, to Heart. And I look forward to meeting you in the flesh very soon.
That would be gorgeous. Well, thanks so much. It's been absolutely joyful. Thank you.
Pleasure. Goodbye.
Bye.
Stay Sane with Jane, Season 2, Local Legends, the show that helps you to thrive, not just survive. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Tune in each week as Jane connects with local. What a beautiful interview. Today we are now shifting down a gear, and we're going into our mindful meditation session. As we spoke about in our Stay Sane with Jane podcast, we were talking about how it really doesn't need to take a lot of time to meditate. And it's great to start with the basics. So today I'm going to take you through a 3-minute mindful breathing exercise. So before we begin this mindful meditation, I invite you to bring kind awareness to what this topic means to you. What does taking 3 minutes out of your life to just mindfully breathe mean to you? And how does it feel in your belly, chest and head when you reflect on just stopping for 3 minutes to breathe? Are there any positive or negative impact stories that are popping up? Remember, there are probably many others out there feeling similarly about this topic as you. But how do you think you might feel with increased awareness around mindful breaths? And when you can apply increased mindfulness to this topic in your everyday life. So let's take a moment to just settle into your body and settle in a comfortable position. This can be standing, sitting, or lying down. This is truly a mindful meditation that you can do anywhere and everywhere. It just takes 3 minutes. So invite a sense of ease and relaxation into the body. You're feeling comfortable, and with the intention to bring awareness and alertness to the physical sensations of the body. Can you feel the weight of your body on the ground or your chair? Let's focus on the points of contact with the chair, the bed, the earth, whatever is beneath you. Noticing the sounds around you move through your ears. Noticing any smells. Bringing awareness to the sensations of breathing. Breathing through your nose or your mouth. As you breathe, see if you can relax your belly and your chest. Seeing if you can loosen any tension, soften any tightness, and allow yourself to breathe full, deep breaths. Inviting a sense of ease in your belly and your chest as you let go of any tension. Dropping your shoulders, softening your hands and the muscles of your face. Just feeling a sense of ease as you breathe. Noticing the physical sensations around your body. What does it feel like to breathe in this moment? The sensations of each inhale and exhale. And today we're going to practice 3 mindful breaths. Begin by taking a slow, gentle inhale, resting your attention on the sensation of air passing through your nostrils, filling your chest and abdomen. Notice the inhale, and when it ends, and shifts back through the gentle exhale. Notice the sensations in the body as the air passes back out. And rest for a moment and begin again. Long, slow inhale, directing your attention to the sensation of the air as you breathe in, and the long, slow exhale, noticing the sensations as the air passes out, noticing the air move in and out. Wonderful. What did that feel like? If you had to describe the sensation of breathing in those moments to somebody, how would you describe it? What temperature was the air? How long was the exhale? Was there a sense of ease or a sense of trying to do it right? What was that experience like for you? Over time, you'll be building your concentration as well as your sense of kind curiosity, where you're able to stay present with a sense of openness, noticing all of the physical sensations as well as how your mind relates to your experience. So don't worry if you felt like you didn't get this right, or if you felt like this was boring. Those are completely natural reactions. It's okay. But if this provided a sense of ease for you, I invite you to try this again and again. Even if you felt like this was boring and you couldn't focus, I invite you to try this again and again. In the coming weeks, you'll be able to explore different ways of bringing mindfulness to the breath, as well as the body, to build embodied awareness, a sense of confidence, and also kindness for ourselves and others. Check out my other mindful meditations and just keep practicing. Be joyful with it. Have fun. Remember, it doesn't have to be a certain way. My name's Jane Scanlan, and I've been your guide today for the mindful meditation. I invite you to check out the links below. Perhaps you would like to join us on the Magic Moon Crew subscription, or perhaps you'd like to book a free chat with me to see what sessions are available and which would be best for you. Sending you best wishes, and I'll see you next week.